Welcome to the WingSpace Podcast, a place to take up space, a space for you to settle in, sit back, relax, and focus a little bit on health, wellness, faith, family, and this crazy thing called life.
This podcast is not a replacement for mental health treatment or professional health care. In case of crisis or emergency, please contact your local healthcare provider or dial 911.
Hey there, and welcome to the WingSpace Podcast, a place to take up space. In today's episode, we are going to finalize our conversation about preparing for the holiday madness, and we are going to wrap up the year of 2024 in our final episode of the WingSpace Podcast Season 4. So if you have not already listened to the episodes regarding preparing for holiday madness, episodes 1 and 2, I'm going to encourage you to go back and take a listen to those. Even though I, in those episodes, kind of walked you through how to prepare some ideas for the upcoming holidays, you're not behind. You're right where you need to be. You are going to be listening to this episode just before Thanksgiving, and you may feel like you are behind. You know, Thanksgiving is just a couple days away at this point, and you might be wondering, how can you blink your eyes and Christmas and the end of the year are here? But welcome to November 26th, because it's here. So here's my little nugget for you to take away with regards to this week. It's Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a time for us to acknowledge what we are grateful for and to express that gratitude to the people that are in our lives. So I would invite you to spend some time over the next couple of days in the midst of baking turkeys and baking pies and Christmas shopping and all of the things. I would invite you to consider sitting down and making a list of who you are grateful for and why you are grateful for those people. What are you grateful for and why are you grateful for that thing, that event? And then consider, over the course of the next couple days, when you send out those well wishes and hey, happy Thanksgiving text messages, tell that person why you're grateful for them. Tell that person why you find gratitude and thanksgiving in your heart for them. And if it's a tangible thing, or if it's not even a tangible thing, maybe you're grateful for time, maybe you're grateful for experience or an opportunity. Acknowledge that and honor that and consider how you can continue to do that thing. I will tell you that I am very grateful for my morning routine. I am very grateful for the hour and a half to 2 hours that I spend when it is still dark outside until the time changes. I guess I need to give you the disclaimer that I'm recording this on October 30th. So we are just a few days away from the time change. So I realize very soon it's not going to be fully dark when I am sitting in my little side room and reading the Bible and journaling and things like that. But I'm very grateful for that time. And when I don't get it for whatever reason, if the schedules are different or if I sleep in or something like that, I feel the loss of that. So I'm very grateful for that thing, and I want to honor that by continuing to do it, and for and acknowledging to myself the importance of it, so that it motivates me to continue to do that. So who and what are you grateful for and why? Acknowledge that time. And so you and I both know that in this world that we live in, as the turkey comes out of the oven on Thanksgiving Day, the Christmas tree goes up in the living room, right? It's kind of this interesting, Thanksgiving is like the gateway to Christmas. And so, have you considered things like Christmas cards or decorations? What's your gift list? All of those things. And how can you switch it up to make it work for you? we are traveling for a portion of November, and family pictures did not happen yet, which means Christmas cards are not coming. But what we are going to do is we're going to have an opportunity to do those pictures later. And maybe I'll send out some Happy New Year cards, or maybe I won't send out cards at all. And that's okay, because I'm giving myself permission to enjoy the weeks ahead and the time that we're going to have away, and some changes in the holidays, and being present in those moments. So if you are thinking, oh man, I just got to get through Thanksgiving, I can't even consider Christmas yet, then pause this episode, step away, and come back. Because I want to give you some valuable information that you can put into place, but I don't want you to think, oh yeah, I'm not in a place to hear this. So take a minute, pause, come back when you're ready, before the Christmas rush starts, and consider how you can best care for yourself and for those around you in the upcoming season. If we look at, kind of the traditional lists of these are the things that you should do leading up to the holidays, we've already talked a little bit about some of those things in terms of your gift list and your budget and when are your celebrations going to happen and things like that. And now it's go time. Right now it's time to, when am I going to clean and tidy up? When am I going to, kind of out with Thanksgiving and in with Christmas and New Year's? When am I going to decorate? I invite you to put it on the calendar. Make it a thing that you can have as an experience rather than something that you just have to get it done. If you're thinking about decorating for the holidays, or you're thinking about putting up the Christmas tree as something I just need to get done, it's going to feel very different to you than if you can consider it as an opportunity to have an experience. Sometimes we will do Christmas music and hot chocolate, and we'll decorate the tree, and I will do all of the decorating in our house by myself. But our main Christmas tree, the four of us put up together, and one of the boys always puts the star on top. When they were little, my husband would pick them up and reach them up. When they got a little older, they'd step on a ladder. And now I'm pretty sure both of them can just reach to the top and put that star on for themselves. And it's an experience, and one that they know they have to help with, right? The other thing that's really interesting is that our elf, or should I say elves, because we were blessed to have two of them, Hawkeye and Rocky, they do not arrive until our Christmas tree gets put up. So, of course, when the boys were littler, it was motivation to get that tree up so that their elves could come visit. And now it is kind of a celebration into the holidays. And then what other activities might you want to do? Gingerbread houses, going to look at Christmas lights, Christmas movies. I saw a graphic, which I'm sure you can just Google this and find it, of all of the different streaming services and what Christmas movies they have on their streaming services. And I thought that was a really kind of a genius graphic to have, because there are so many classic Christmas movies that we might like to watch over the season. And because there's now so many streaming services, many of us may have them on DVD. But if you don't, it reduces your search time to be able to find where you can get those and make it a part of your family's experience over the course of the next couple of weeks. For me, I may have shared this with you before, I will sit down on a Friday or a Saturday night and I will wrap 90% of our Christmas. I will pour a beverage, I will put on Christmas movies, and I will just wrap and wrap and wrap. And my family knows that that's what I'm doing, and so the door stays closed and they don't bother me. It's not a chore for me, it's an opportunity to prepare the gifts that we've purchased for our family and our friends. And mindset is so important as we go into every day, but especially as we go into the holiday season. Are there things that you do in terms of Christmas Eve gifts or outfits that you wear on Christmas Day and things like that? We always do Christmas pajamas, not always matching, sometimes coordinating, sometimes not. And so it's fun for us to have those, and usually we open them up maybe a couple days before Christmas. Maybe I just give it to them, maybe they get them Christmas Eve, whatever. But plan for that and know, instead of, oh man, forgot to do that, now I have to go do this thing, I get to. And the mindset changes. Obviously, as the weeks pass by and we get closer and closer to Christmas, you're going to want to finalize your menus and make your grocery list. And are there certain things that are special ordered that you're going to have to prepare for? Is it a special turkey that needs to be ordered, or a ham, or some other item? Put it on your list now so that you can remember to go ahead and get that thing ordered, so you're not disappointed if it's not available. When are you going to do that final grocery run? I don't know about you, but where I live, we have one grocery store within, I can go 30 minutes in 3 different directions and find a different grocery store, or 4 different directions really. But in my local area, there's one grocery store. And so if I wait and try to get all my groceries, I'm not going to be able to do it. Number one, I'm going to be so frustrated from the crowds, but I'm also probably not going to be able to get everything on my list. So when am I going to do that final grocery run? What's on that list? How am I going to plan and prepare for that thing? And then, is there anything I need to prepare in advance? Our Christmas is going to look a little bit different this year. And so I'm not really quite sure. To be quite honest with you, I have a 3-step process this year, or maybe it's more than 3 steps. As we look at the end of the year, we have, be transitioning my mom for the winter down to South Carolina near my brother. So that's kind of step 1. And then step 2 is a trip that my husband and I are taking. And then step 3 is Thanksgiving. And if you've been around a little while, you know that our anniversary is in November, and we always do a Christmas shopping trip. So I don't know, with us having another trip planned, what that's going to look like for this year, but there'll at least be a day over Thanksgiving weekend that we will go and have a meal, whether it's lunch or dinner, maybe both, and just do the majority of our Christmas shopping. So that's kind of like step 1, 2, 3. And then what does December look like, and what do the holidays look like? So for me, I'm kind of putting it into chunks right now and planning ahead. The bottom line is, if we have a plan, if we know what's coming, then we're better set up for all of the madness that ensues. Christmas week, maybe it starts the weekend before for you. Gatherings, Christmas parties, gift giving, the movies, the music, the pictures, the meals, all of those things. I want to take a quick break, and when we come back, I want to talk to you a little bit about when the dust settles, or when the glitter settles, and how and what you might consider doing going into a new year. So a quick message, and we'll be right back.
Are you a yogi in Southern Maryland looking for a place to practice on Thursday mornings? Look no further than Gentle Yoga with Lori Bruce at Hope and Healing in Leonardtown. A certified yoga therapist, Lori brings over 2 decades of yoga training and teaching to her classes. Gentle Yoga with Lori is suitable for all levels. Join us in person or tune in from home, as all Thursday morning classes will be available virtually. Space is limited, so reserve your spot today at LoriBruceYoga.com/schedule.
Welcome back to the WingSpace Podcast. We are finishing up season 4 of the WingSpace Podcast, and finishing up this final episode with some, words of wisdom from Jen, if you will, about how to finish well, how to experience the joy of the holidays and finish well going into 2025. If you've listened so far, you know that we are kind of talking about this timeline gearing up to Christmas Day, and my apologies to those of you that maybe don't celebrate Christmas Day. It's entirely possible for you to shift this conversation to potentially match up with your own holiday that you may celebrate. For my purposes, I can speak from the perspective of Christmas Day. So, Christmas Eve comes, and there are traditions and experiences that my family enjoys, and I hope that you have your own that you can plan and prepare for. Christmas Day, sometimes kind of looks like somebody took a box of Christmas decorations and kind of threw it up in the air, and then it all falls down with the boxes and the wrapping paper trash and the leftover food and all of those things. But what I will say to you is that on the eve of your final celebration, because some people, for us, will be celebrating into that week of Christmas, take a deep breath. Enjoy the experiences, commit the memories to commit those memories into your brain. Because at some point in our lives, with some of the people in our life, the memories are all we have left. So cherish those memories. Take a screenshot with your mind, right? And I wanna remember this thing. Take the pictures. Be in the pictures. The cleanup can come later. The decorations will come down later. Enjoy the time you have with your friends and your family. Enjoy the laughter. Enjoy the chaos. Enjoy all of it. And breathe, rest. You know what I'm going to say. Feed, fuel, move, rest your body. So even in the midst of all of the busyness of the season, make sure you're feeding and fueling your body well. Enjoy the holiday treats that we don't often have, but be sure to feed and fuel your body well. Make sure that you're moving your body, continuing to exercise in whatever way that you're choosing to exercise. Go for that after the big meal walk. Walk around the yard and talk to your friends and family while the dogs are going around, running around, or the kids are playing. And make sure you're resting. Make sure you're getting good quality sleep so that you're ready for the next day and you're not feeling completely drained by the end of this year. And I invite you to do an exercise at some point between Christmas Day and Christmas Eve Day. I would invite you to pull out a journal. Maybe it's your phone, maybe it's digital, maybe it's paper. What did you learn in 2024? What did you enjoy? What was the bloom? What was the prosperity of 2024? And what is the bud? What is the flower that's about to bloom, the thing that you're excited for and you're looking forward to in 2025? And if you haven't caught on to this metaphor of a rose, there's thorns on roses too. So what might be something that was a little bit of a difficulty in 2024? Maybe it was a big difficulty in 2024, but you've learned something from it. You're grateful for something as a result of this thing, and you're going to look forward to 2025. Kind of a recap of your year. I don't encourage you to do New Year's resolutions. They don't work. But I would ask you to consider knowing what you learned in 2024, what you are grateful for, and what you're looking forward to in 2025 in spite of the thorns that you may have felt. What are some goals that you have for yourself? And I would ask you to consider not, I want to lose 10 pounds. Maybe it's less about the pound on the scale, and maybe it's more about the feeding and fueling your body well. Maybe it's increasing your movement and going for a daily walk, right? If I say that my goal is I want to go for a daily walk, it doesn't mean that I have to go for a 5-mile walk. It means I have to go for a walk. And that means if I can only walk for 5 minutes up and down my driveway while I'm in between things, then mission accomplished. I went for that daily walk. If my goal is to move my body every day, and I find myself in June and I haven't, quote, exercised, but I'm swimming in my friend's pool, great. That's moving your body. So what are the things that you can do in terms of action steps and goals that you can create related to feeding and fueling and moving and resting your body? You will find content in our podcasts and on our website and in our socials to help provide nuggets of information that will help you along that journey to creating wellness for you, whatever that looks like. And so that would be a final thought for you is as you are finishing up your Thanksgiving meal and you are preparing for the celebration of Christmas and the end of year holiday activities, don't compare. Don't look left and don't look right. Unless you are looking left and looking right to encourage and love on those around you. Don't look left and say, oh, my Christmas cards don't look that good. And don't look right and say, her presents are wrapped so much better than mine. You do you. You do it how it works for you. Maybe this is the year that everybody gets one big bag and everything goes in the bag and you put tissue in the top. Maybe you buy one of those bags that you don't even have to put tissue on and you just cinch it. You do what works for you. And as we go into 2025, we're going to throw off the comparison. We're going to throw it away because it just doesn't make sense. What works for me doesn't work for you, and what works for you doesn't work for me. And so I would just encourage you to find what works for you. Maybe you got to experiment a little bit to really figure that out, but you do what works for you. Make 2025 the year of you. Make 2025 the year that you do what works for you and those people that are in your closest circle around you. And when I say your closest circle, for me, that's my husband and my kids, right? And then there's extensions of that in terms of our extended family. At the end of the day, it's my center nucleus of people that I have to look out for first. And in the middle of that is myself. I have to look out for myself first and make sure that I'm fed and fueled and I've moved and I've rested my body so that I can then care for and support those people around me so that we are then equipped to care for and support the people that are around us, and so the circles go out. Just spend some time reflecting on the year. Spend some time appreciating all that you have, and I assure you that each and every one of you have something to be grateful for today and tomorrow and the days and weeks and months ahead. And acknowledge who and what you're grateful for. Acknowledge where you are today and where you're going to work towards for tomorrow and into the year ahead. I will tell you as I close this podcast that we had originally planned to have a couple of more episodes. We had originally planned to take you into December, but sometimes we all have to pivot. And we've got some really great stuff happening in the lives of our staff here at Hope and Healing. And for that reason, we chose to pivot. We chose to say thank you. In the week of Thanksgiving, I say thank you to you. As my listeners on this podcast, I say thank you to Les, my marketing director, who does all of our edits for the podcast. So I record and then she makes it all look good. And she makes it all sound good. And I'm grateful for my team here at Hope and Healing who are providing mental health and wellness services to our community. I'm grateful for you, for listening, for sharing these episodes, for following along, for sharing your feedback, and for allowing us to say, this is where we sign off for season 4. And we have more to come in season 5. So I hope you will continue to follow us, stick around, go back and listen to some of those old episodes that maybe you haven't listened to yet. We have 4 full seasons now. So go back and listen, maybe re-listen to some that you want to just gather some more information about, and share with us your ideas. I'm always open to hear what you have to say when it comes to the podcast and the content that you are finding most valuable. So here's where I'll say, see ya in season 5. You will hear me again in 2025 in our 5th season of the podcast. I appreciate all of you. I thank you for a wonderful podcast season, a wonderful year here in the Hope and Healing community, and I wish you all the very best. Thanks for listening, and have a great day.